Thanks for staying with us here on TVC Breakfast. It's now time for us to look at what the papers are reporting. Let's have a peek through the papers. At first, the Nation newspaper with the banner headline, Emergency on Security. Tinubu okays State Police, National Assembly to amend law, military police to recruit more men. And the Nigerian Tribune is saying Tinubu declares nationwide security emergency. And the writers read, orders armed forces, police to recruit more personnel. Calls on National Assembly to review laws that will allow state requiring state police to establish them. Police to use NYC camps as training depots. Federal government to support state governments who set up security outfits. Interesting. Now the Blueprint newspaper, Tinubu declares nationwide security emergency. Orders recruitment of personnel. Senate wants Nigerians to own guns. Seeks death sentence for kidnappers. Police reactivate joint security operation sweep FCT. Daily Independent, Tinubu talks tough, declares national security emergency. Orders army, police to recruit more personnel. President nominates ambassadors for US, UK and France. Next is the Daily Times. Tinubu declares emergency on security. Orders army, police to recruit more personnel. Next is the Guardian newspaper with the screaming headline, Tinubu declares emergency on insecurity, backs governors on state police. That's the governors that are willing, actually. Now the Nigerian is direct. Insecurity, Tinubu backs creation of state police, orders National Assembly to begin amendment, approves massive recruitment into security agencies. Next is the Punch newspaper, still on the security palaver. Abduction crisis. Tinubu declares emergency as National Assembly rejects bandit negotiations. Senate reps halt talks with bandits. Criticisms mount over rising insecurity. Massive military recruitment begins. Next is This Nigeria. At last, Tinubu okays creation of state police, urges National Assembly to review necessary provisions, declared national security emergency, tells DSS to deploy forest guards to flush out bandits. And then the Platform Times, Senate pushes death penalty for kidnappers. Lawmakers to move to classify kidnapping as terrorism. Amendments to Terrorism Act to impose mandatory execution. That's going to make for an interesting conversation. And the next is the Help newspaper. Heads to roll over memo on closure of schools in the FCT. That's according to Wike. Insists there is no security threat in the nation's capital. Mandate Secretary for Education suspended as investigation begins. The Leadership newspaper. President Tinubu declares nationwide security emergency. And last but not least is the Sport Alive. Pay 50 million euros, get Lookman. AC Milan to pocket 39 billion naira for Chukwueze. Why are they selling our guys up and down?
After journalism, just play football. But yeah, let's go on.
Of course, I play football a lot. I don't just brag about it.
No, do you play the kind of football that give us money? But let's go.
I don't know what you're talking about. All right, then, let's get on to brass tacks. Etoma Ria, looking at the papers, actually, they're essentially saying the same thing in different words, but it is very, very how do I put it? Comprehensive, because a whole lot that will not be able to exhaust. But let's get on it. If you look at the Nation newspaper, it's saying emergency on security. Tinubu okays state police, National Assembly to amend law, military police to recruit more men, and then that of the Nigerian Tribune has lots of riders to it, saying police to use NYC camps to training depots, and the fact that the federal government supports state governors who sets up security outfits. Now the governors have been given the green light, although they still have to wait for the National Assembly after the amendment, and that's another process.
So my first appeal will go to the National Assembly. These things are happening, your constituents are affected. So this thing should be top on your list. In fact, before the weekend, something should be concrete should be done so that the state governors can go ahead and do this. And for the state governors that say maybe we don't have money or we are not ready for this, we're not going to do, we're going to delay on the state police thing. Let me tell you the effect. When other states have established their own state police, the criminals in those states will be so uncomfortable, and your state that doesn't have a state police will be a haven for those criminals to go. So you will be the landlord of the criminal elements in Nigeria. What am I trying to say? Every governor should jump into this opportunity and create their own state police. It's for everybody's good. So I wonder why any governor would say, look, I can't do this. You have the allocation now. Every state has an IGR. Every state has an economic stuff that you can use to raise money. Look, this thing is going to change the mentality of the governance in Nigeria. States will now start creating businesses that will now start, that will be more serious about making money for themselves.
Absolutely.
It's just a state of emergency that has been declared, but man, look at the things, the fallout of it.
And the president told the DSS that, listen, you have my directive to release the forest, people who had been trained to guard our forest. Because yes, the president inaugurated this, some weeks ago, let's say months or thereabouts, and then he's now saying, DSS, you need to release these people into, because not even an inch of this territory will be ceded to these criminal terrorists. Did I say criminal terrorists? Terrorists.
In fact, you can call it criminal terrorism.
For me, I always say on this table that anything that will bring peace and tranquility to Nigeria is what I go for. So I'm happy that this has happened. And for me, it just means that the president is saying a lot is happening, but enough is enough. That's just the way I see it. And I feel like as a governor, if you're experiencing insecurity in your state, it doesn't make you a happy person, because wherever your state is not stable, how do you grow the state? So security is even the first thing you should look at. So I do not feel like any governor will say, I do not want to incorporate state police. Now, state police, we've been speaking about it over and over again. And I'm happy that the president is saying that now is the time. With the recent kidnappings, it's getting too much. You wake up one morning, Kwara State, Kano State, Kebbi State, like it's spreading across. And before you know, if we give these people the audience, it will spread across the whole of Nigeria. Absolutely. So now that we are able to hold it, I feel like this is the right time that we are able to stamp our foot on the ground. I love the aspect of state police, because I believe they say the police is your friend, but right now the police will be my best friend, because I don't need to call Abuja to get police. I would, Lagos has its own police. So I believe that is something that the governor should really rush to. This is a beautiful initiative, but now I'm just hoping that it's not just talk, we're able to implement it. Because oftentimes we have spoken. I want us to speak on this table again that it is finally happening.
Absolutely. Still on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune, or those who are thinking of establishing schools in places where hard to reach for security protection, they should have a rethink one way or the other. So one thing is, we go to mosques, we go to churches, we need to be very, very careful what we do. Now we're seeing some videos of some pastors carrying guns into the altar.
And it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart, Etoma, because that's not what Christianity is about. I tell you, whenever I get into the church, I'm not even thinking about anything. I just want to pray to God. I feel like with stories like this, we should just make sure that we keep Nigeria safe. I do not want a pastor coming in and we go, like, what are you bringing that to the church for? When we are praying to God to protect us, which one is protection you're holding again? But I understand why people want to do that because of the recent attacks in church and all. But I'm just hoping that we get to Nigeria that people are free to go to different places. And talking about the schools as well, whenever I hear closure of schools, it hurts me, because I understand the importance of education. In as much as we're hammering on security, education is very important. Because if you build a country without your people educated, at the end of the day, the country will suffer from it.
Well, wisdom is profitable to the wrecked. So if a pastor goes to church with a gun, he understands that the situation warrants it, number one, and number two, he is a human being. Number three, he is passing a message to his congregation that security is very, very important.
But Etoma, not to cut you short, if you do that, so do you want your congregation to now come in with that as well? So we need to think about it twice.
No. Listen. There are some things that are symbolic. How many people in that congregation can afford a gun?
You can never know.
The thing is, Mr. Pastor is telling you that, look, security, because of the situation we find ourselves right now, security is paramount. And this kind of situation doesn't persist It's just for a short time.
That's right. Let's go more. Although if you look at the blueprint, the Senate also wants Nigerians to own guns, but I do not think that's the route to go, because if you look at the gun violence happening in the United States of America today, something else happened, over yesterday. It's not the same time zone, but then something happened just a few hours ago in the United States of America, where someone was also gunned down. I was talking to a friend of mine, on what's it called, an international call. Like, I will come to your doorstep. Say, if you come to my doorstep, I'll gun you down. Like, why are you thinking like an average American? So look at the Daily Independent. It says the paper says, one of the writers says, the president asks herders to end open grazing, surrender weapons. Etoma, let me start off with you. So that open grazing thing, because at a point, we should know that this is no longer fashionable. We know that some tribes are nomadic in nature when it comes to grazing their cattle and all of that. But one thing is, we need to start adopting this international standard. They are not against you.
The thing is, it's white and black to me. I wonder why people argue or quarrel over it. Taking these animals from one place to the other might be your tradition, but is it sustainable now? The answer is very, very clear. Ranching is the way to go. Ranching is the way to go. Yes. So maybe you, by nature, you are nomadic. But this 2025, it's about time that nomadic nature fizzles off a little bit. I want to commend Mr. President for his courage. It takes a lot for a president to come out and do these sweeping changes that Mr. President has done. I was talking to somebody earlier on and I said, Mr. President is being presidential right now.
That's right.
I am so impressed with the orders
that he's been presidential
about
security
matters.
He has always been presidential on some other matters.
Yes,
also
he's president.
Pertinent.
Well, you are giving the details.
Because the devil is in the detail.
Oh, yes. These things that he has insisted on are things that will develop this country. They are things that will bring the final peace that we're looking for. However, the implementation too, we have to look at the implementation closely. Let's start with the National Assembly. Amend the laws that will allow for state policing. How fast will they do that? And the governors start employing people that will form your state police. How fast will they do that?
That's right.
We need fast implementation.
But I think it's priority for me. So this is priorities. I don't think it's something that they now want to keep for 10 months, 1 year. This is priority. The insecurity is happening and we must take the bull by the horn. And that's what the president is doing. So I do not see a reason why the National Assembly will now make this law go so long that people forget about it and it fizzles out.
Because of our time, let's move on to the platform Times. Saying that Senate pushes death penalty for kidnappers. Lawmakers move to classify kidnapping as terrorism. Amendment to Terrorism Act to impose mandatory execution. Because, we love to use lexicons, in this country. We say bandits, we say kidnappers, we say assailants.
Criminal is a criminal.
As long as you are inflicting terror in the minds, in the hearts of people, pain, etc., then, no, not just pain, because I can just pinch your hand and you feel pain. so that you don't call me terrorist. Let me watch whatever it is I would say.
You're bringing pain to people's families.
Yeah, so Senate is pushing for death penalty. And they said that death penalty, capital punishment, is no longer fashionable. But countries like Saudi Arabia also gave a royal decree in 2020, to abolish death penalty, USA in 2005 or thereabout, but we still have countries like China, South Korea, etc., that are still on death penalty, and it works. What do you think for terrorists?
I'm comme ça about this, but I remember what J.J. Rowling did in Ghana. I'm not going to go straight into it, but when you said this, that's just what I remembered. See, sometimes you have to take drastic...
What Rawlings did it work or not?
It worked. In one way or the other,
I love the way you said it in a Ghanaian English.
But I'll tell you something. Sometimes you have to take drastic measures to see good results. Now, oftentimes we've said that these bandits, they've become very, very audacious. They become audacious that they are on social media, they are on TikTok, they are posting. I believe that when there's a penalty like this, you know that if you're caught, you're going straight into, death by hanging, I feel like that is when a lot of people will know that will sit up and not want to do it. Now, I tell you something. If you want to give mercy to these people that are doing these things, are they giving mercy to the people they're doing it to?
That's right.
To the people's
That's
families.
That's right.
I spoke about the anguish. Do you know what it is when you kidnap Ibrahim, that me and you are on this table, somebody kidnaps you? I know
Somebody
how I will feel.
kidnap me.
I'm just
In
saying,
Jesus' name.
no, but I'm saying that I know how I'll feel. So imagine people that their husbands are kidnapped, their brothers, their sisters. So this is not me. I'm being very passionate about this because I understand what it is to those families. I'm really believing and I support this. I support this motion, even though some people may go against me. But I think that you have to take a drastic measure. When these people know that this is the penalty, they would not do it.
Because it's so sad when, as Shia said, you kidnap someone and then you're not able to get a ransom. Some people will kill these people and sell their organs.
You also give the ransom and they even still kill the person. You are never sure. It's 50-50.
So we need to, pass that ultimately the capital punishment on these people.
Punishment should be commensurate to the crime.
Yeah.
We're in peculiar times. So whether death penalty is not fashionable anymore, or is it effective? Is it commensurate to the crime? If the kidnappers can kill the people that kidnap, even after collecting ransom, so why should they go scot-free when they are caught and persecuted? At times I want to feel, why should they even take them to court? But you have to go to court. You have to go to court. You have to prove that it is not the wrong person. And this person that you are accusing actually did not kidnap. But when the person has been found guilty, I'm a little bit surprised that it is now that we are suggesting the death penalty, because these guys have been killing people they have kidnapped for as long as we can remember. So the Senate, you have my support.
It's giving them a taste of their own medicine. For me, that's how I'll put it. A taste of your own medicine.
All right, then let's talk about some hope on the front page of the Hope newspaper.
We need the hope.
I do not think this is hope for people that will be flogged at the end of the day. Heads to roll over memo on closure of schools in the FCT. That's according to Wike. Insists there is no security threat in the nation's capital. And Mandate Secretary for Education suspended as investigation begins. This was an offshoot of what happened, recently across the nation. Look at Kwara, look at Kebbi, look at Niger, etc. And then they said schools must be under lock and key. But they said the same thing for the FCTs and started asking the students to go home, that schools are under closed. Yeah,
they kidnap people in Niger State, my backyard, and you expect me to be comfortable. So I can understand why proprietors of schools in a state, nation's capital are closing their schools. And I can also understand the minister, and so on. But what I really don't understand is that, is the situation that bad for the hard stance and the hard rhetorics that he's bringing into it? He just explained to the people, the nation's capital is safe. The nation's capital is safe. These are the measures that we have taken to ensure that schools are safe and our children are safe. At times, Nigerians understand the hard the hard stance. We understand using the rod instead of the carrot. So I can relate with that. But I always prefer a situation where you educate the people, let the people know what you're doing, and let the people willingly ride with you.
That's right.
But Ibrahim, just to weigh in a little bit on this, I think that I understand where Wike is coming from. I understand where the proprietors of the school is coming from, and I understand where parents that want to put their children in school are coming from. But what I'll say to Wike is that, tell us how the schools are safe. If you want the schools to be open, you want children to come back, you want parents to have the faith to bring their children to school, tell us how they're safe, not the head to roll. Tell us how safe it is for me to come to school and go back home safely. Because we're saying that, Abuja is safe. Well, quite all right. But if it's happening close to you, it's brewing, so you can never tell.
So, Mr. Minister, temper justice with mercy. Is that what they say? Right. So if you look at the leadership newspaper, saying at last, Tinubu begins appointments of ambassadors, nominates Kayode Are, Aminu Dalhatu, Ayodele Oke, to Senate for confirmation. And these countries are US, France, what's other country? One other country.
I think it's the UK.
The UK or something. That actually skipped my mind. So it's been a long time coming. How do we put it?
Okay, we have diplomatic missions, but we didn't have diplomatic heads, and these three countries are very important countries to Nigeria.
Yeah. Most definitely. All right then, the last paper saying that pay 50 million euros, get Lookman, AC Milan to pocket 39 billion naira for Chukwueze. How much are they paying for you guys?
Don't
a lot.
go there.
No, not a lot actually. Guys. Sorry.
All right then, that's about it for the newspapers up for review. Coming up next on TVC Breakfast, we'll be discussing ways to strengthen HIV